You're tuned into Soul Fusion Cafe, your place for radiant wellness and soul forward living. Join your host, Jess Juntanen, quantum healer, intuitive, and midwife to the awakening spirit, as we dive into quantum tools, wisdom teachings, and integrated healing pathways for transformation. You can live a life of freedom to be without limitation. Cozy up, grab your tea, and enjoy this hour of expansion, wisdom, and love. Namaste. Hello. Welcome to Soul Fusion Cafe. I'm your host, Jess Juntanen, for this hour of radiant wellness and soul forward living. And really, it's always incredible to be here with you, to share time with you. And truly, this is a safe zone. This is a community space. Oneness Talk Radio is full of incredible hosts and shows, always uplifting, always about connecting to our authenticity, our true nature. And really, this is a place that you can come and be with community. If you're here live, enjoy the chat, please, over at YouTube or at Facebook. We are also streaming, of course, at our onenesstalkradio.com, our website and hub, where you can catch up and listen to recordings of all the past shows. Of course, subscribe at Oneness Talk Radio YouTube if you haven't done that already, to get updates from all of our incredible hosts. So today, another awesome day, another Tuesday, and it's 12:12 by my clock, 12:12 Eastern time. We're here generally at noon Eastern every Tuesday. I say that because I was a little bit late, and sometimes I'm just going with the flow here as I connect with you all. So thank you so much. And this is a moment that I love because I'm inspired. I'm always inspired when I take the time to connect with all of you, whether we're here live or it's in the recording and I hear from you or not, but I feel the connection. And it does matter a lot, to be in service in whatever way that this show brings forward your own true nature, your own joy. That is something that feeds my own soul anytime that I'm in service anywhere. Using my own gifts and tools to connect with other beings is always so supportive and nourishing. So what is supportive and nourishing for you? What is it that you enjoy uh, connecting with in order to revive and re-energize your own purpose? Because I know it's true for me, and I coach people in this all the time. If we're not in service, we do start to feel depleted, we'll feel tired. Different symptoms can start to arise, like depression, anxiety, emotional, physical, mental, all across the board. And yeah, there's always many different connections to why something presents to get our attention. Usually, by the time it expresses in the body in the physical form, it's been present a while and we haven't been paying attention to it. So, really, it's that moment of being in service or not, though, really does dictate a lot of how we feel in our emotional bodies and everywhere else. Because if we're not being in service, then we're not honoring our entire purpose for being, and we start to feel really wonky. So I do notice the days where I might feel a little bit heavier, or things just feel a little more sludgy, that if I get into a service, that shifts completely. And of course, this is in balance, because then there are many that are, workaholics, or giving and so much service that they aren't giving and receiving for themselves. So of course, anything shared here goes with that caveat that it must be in balance too, because it can become a distraction to we're always, in service in some way, but what are we serving, right? Where's the energy coming from? And that's the rub. It has to come from alignment with our passion, with our truth, with who we are. We align there and then take an action based on that, not I call it the spaghetti method, where I got to do something, nothing's working. Let me throw the spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. That can be effective-ish, but it is much more effective or rewarding to have intention behind what we're doing. And, then there's more energy for the creation and less in the throwing. So, like, really, what I'm saying in a nutshell is get aligned with your heart, get aligned with your truth, and then take your action, inspired action, your service from there. And that really is today's show too, all about manifestation and this incredible full moon that is coming. That if we really are manifesting in our lives, well, we are manifesting in our lives all the time. If things are showing up that you don't enjoy, you don't like, you are creating. So it's your choice if you want to create something else, right? But this law of instantaneous manifestation, is taught by Master Lady Kira Ra and wisdom teacher Sri Ram Ka, is a very profound energy. It is not just law of attraction stuff, it is really about deeply coming into alignment with your creator self, whatever word you want to use for that. But the center of the Taurus field, the 0 point, the sea of neutrality, the mastery presence, all of this comes into the center of remembering fully, reactivating that you're much more than this human being, a human form, that you're this multidimensional being, and that by tapping into that which is beyond this human form, you are absolutely commanding then your mastery presence. The form itself, trying to govern everything, it's always going to come from fear and lack and all those places, and it's always going to manifest more of that. We will manifest in form just in the way we've been doing. We're good at it. And to manifest our miracles and to manifest the greater beliefs of I'm abundant, I'm generating my experience through my creative source, through the source of who I am, then miracles really ramp up and begin happening. And, we've been tracking this with Shri and Kira and myself, Dana, Sue. Are you tracking your miracles? Are you tracking with what's happening in your life, especially since April started, but always? But like, can you really track in April now what is happening, where the miracles are occurring in your life? Because you're going to be amazed at how fast they can happen, how many can happen. And that's why it's important to track them, because sometimes you blink and you move on and you almost forget that such a miracle just happened. Some of the miracles are so huge, they change your life forever, but so do the small ones, seemingly small ones. So where are you tracking? Where are you noticing the miracles happening? It's been an absolute humbling, incredible experience to spend time in such a creative flow, and with learning through Shri and Kira. And if you're just tuning in now and you're not sure who they are or haven't heard of them yet, like, please go check them out. Shri and Kira, official Shri and Kira at YouTube. Their show is here at Oneness Talk Radio, syndicated, and also their website, shriandkira.com. And there's so much free information and things that you can learn there. It's absolutely amazing what they accomplish. Any of you that are in the community know how much they accomplish, how quickly they accomplish it, and just how much we witness come forward. So I'm getting to learn in rapid order just how much we can really do. And it does require getting outside of our frame of reference of the mind, and it's beyond the mind to really harness this, but we get to practice a lot. So I'm noticing and witnessing, oh my goodness, the connections that are coming forward, the beings that are they're saying yes and they're doing the work and they're in action, and that there's these beings and collaborators coming together, that I have so much vitality and growth that is happening. That's the word for it, growth. It's a miracle to be able to grow, and I've got a kid graduating, spring is here. It reminds me so much of all of the miracles and renewal that happens, especially when you live somewhere where you have really dramatic contrasting seasons. It's like the slowest process ever in northern Michigan, waiting for the spring. I remember this every year, even though I had the blessing of leaving several times and going to beautiful Ecuador, and that's a miracle, right? And miracles upon miracles that happen there, from, wow, the indigenous coming together to share their voice. I'm putting a pin in that and coming back. That's a huge miracle, and the spring energy just is really reminding me. It's like after every storm, there's that rainbow, right? That after winter, even though everything gets so quiet and dormant, things have been happening under the ground, under the permafrost, right? Under the places where it's still, sap is still slowly running or starts to stream again as the days warm and the light returns, and you hear the birds and all these, little tiny blades of grass start to emerge from the edges of the snowbanks. It's always a miracle of renewal, and reminds me so much of that's how it really can feel. I know a lot of you tuning in may be like, I have not had the most fun, incredible, miraculous last year of my life. I know I have. It's been incredible, but I am aware of the fact too that, I mean, I've been through hard stuff, and everybody is navigating hard stuff right now. It's not easy all the time. And anyone's lying if they tell you it is. It's steadfast commitment, focused awareness, complete trust, 24/7, and really, really diving into what it means to be in steadfast commitment, because that's like unwavering, that's unshakable. And your ego's going to come up and say, are you committed, again and again? So many beings are feeling a lot of challenges, but hey, April, full moon, it is absolutely a moment of stability coming in. So if you've been feeling a little bit swirly, a little bit out there, a little unstable, if you are really staying in your heart, in your presence, in your truth, there's a big stability that is coming in with this full moon. Big, and if you would love to join myself and a group of beings in full moon ceremony, that's on Saturday. And this Saturday, we will be together at 2 p.m. Eastern time. I'm like looking to see if I can actually find the graphic to share or not. And the full moon is at 2:55 Eastern. So because it's a Saturday, normally I would do an evening event. But because it's Saturday, I'm feeling like we can absolutely honor the full moon and hold it at 2 p.m. Eastern. So then when we get to the culminating ceremony, we'll be in it when that full moon is actually happening. And, these gatherings are about more than, you know, the energies of the full moon or what's going on for me. Those are beautiful things. And of course, that's part of what we do share. But also that, well, maybe I can share. Yeah, there you go. So, it's about more than just those things, even though those are incredible things. It's about coming together as beings of light and expanding. When we join together, where two or more are gathered, there is a divine union that is happening. And it really is this, if you uh, go to my website, selfascensionstudios.com, you'll see where you can register. And there really is a beautiful expansiveness of being in a group together and sharing together, and if you can't join live but you really want to attend, absolutely register. You'll get your recording. It's a time where if you would like to, you can share, or not, you can simply receive and be in the energies. We dive into what's happening energetically. We do some practices together because there's such a power in doing some practices together and really lay our intentions and hold love and healing for one another, hold one another's intentions, and bring that forward. And this is a super moon. This April full moon is a super, not super moon, but it's a peak up level day. I mean, maybe it's a super moon. I don't know if it's one of those super close ones, but it's a peak up level day. So that full heart moon, if you've been tracking with Shri and Kira, if you haven't, please just go check up with their last radio show, the Sunday Shri and Kira Live at official Shri and Kira YouTube, and get the updates of what's happening, because bar none, the most accurate information out there and available, right? So this full moon comes in with just such a huge up level energy that if you've been feeling things, yes, welcome to the club. This is an ascension up level day. This is a moment that says, pay attention. And if you're not, you're going to be anyways, because you're going to go, what is going on? We are transiting and moving through this incredible portal right now of such co-creative power, such birthing energy, that it's impossible to not be impacted. But it's going to interface at whatever level of consciousness you're at, and the manifestation ability to come through the miracle formula: sincerity, love, presence. Sincerity, love, and presence. Just hold sincerity, love, and presence. This is for all humanity. We're carrying our visions. Pay attention to your visions. What do you see when you see a world in its highest potential and humanity in its highest potential for being? What is the vision that is shown you? Because that vision is absolutely real, and we're co creating it. And the more of us holding it together, each of our visions for what that looks like and feels like to experience a heal, whole planet self, what is being shown to you? Pay attention, or go within and go into your heart and ask, what is being shown to me, the highest potential for this lifetime, for myself in this lifetime, for all beings in this lifetime. We're creating it right now. We're creating it. This world has never existed as it is right now. We've had experiences on many planets and many times and many incarnations where we chose to blow ourselves up. We did. And we're not doing that this time. There's a lot of anxiety around that. There's a lot of energy around, are we gonna implode ourselves this time? Right? Because it's a habit. But we're not. We're still here. However, we do need all hands on deck to manifest that which you see as possible. Requires taking action steps from your aligned truth. And that's how really the manifestation gets going. And there's going to be so much more shared. And oh my gosh, we are getting close to the Mercury retrograde. The pre-phase starts at the end of this month in April. It's going to be the best Mercury retrograde ever, too. The energies are very supportive, very incredible, very masterful. This is just like this beautiful harmonic that's coming in, that's asking us to really illuminate ourselves, to continue to be in the flow, continue to create. So if it's feeling other than that, it's because there's a lot of resistance. The ego's resisting hard. If you're getting too involved in what's happening in density, or start believing it's so real, or whatever is happening in your body and believing it's just real and all the truth, if there's something expressing that feels less than right, then that's going to feel really different. You're going to manifest more of the chaos and more of the pain and more of what is happening there. It really is just the way it works. The sea of neutrality in the universe is very neutral. It's neutral. It's our consciousness that conditions what happens. Seeing a lot of love happening in the chat. And hey, I'm going to throw up the phone number today. 517-208-1500 is the call board number. If you're feeling called to call in with a sharing, a miracle that's happening, blessings, anything like that, please do. Would love to hear from you. And sorry, I'm taking my shoes off and getting a little more comfortable with you guys because this is such a fun, amazing conversation. And I pulled a few things out too today that I was inspired to share with you all. And Shri and Kara have been talking a bit lately again about their book, 2012 Atlantean Revelations. And I don't know if you can get this on Kindle still or not. I have been able to reclaim a few copies off of used bookstore websites and places. Get a copy of this if you don't have one. It's not in print anymore, so I have to go look at secondhand retailers. 2012 Atlantean Revelations, Becoming a Mystic in a 9 to 5 World. And this page has opened up to me so many times. This book also contains the lessons of light, very practical advice. And Archangel Zadkiel was sharing, in here, Shri beautifully asks these questions of Archangel Zadkiel, is Kira ensouls these messages. And as is shared, uh, these ensoulments are not simply channeling. We are all channels. We are all channels. You are a channel. I am a channel. We all are. And the integrity of the message that we're channeling depends upon our sincerity, love, and presence, and how much ego is governing, right? So when you receive a channeled message from somebody, it's always wise to go into your heart and say, does this feel truthful? Does this feel uplifting? Does this feel like it brings me down in any way into any sort of fear or anything? Then it's just not at the highest. And that goes for your own messages. If you're channeling and you're receiving something that makes you feel less than, you're not channeling of the highest. And Sri Ram Ka is asking about the ego and surrendering, and uh, to really focus on pure intent and relieve the results to God. So this comes from the lesson 2 of Living the Lessons of Light. And you can register for these lessons of light at Shrinkyour's website. Right now, I know the website's going through a complete overhaul and update. So if you have trouble finding the link of where to register for these, let me know so I can get you connected with that. And the restoring presence is lesson 2. Why I bring that up is because you can get all of these lessons from the book as a weekly message when you register. So if you're having trouble finding it, shoot me an email or shoot an email to support at Self Ascension, and we'll get you hooked up with that newsletter list. Okay. So the lesson 2, restoring presence. I almost want to back up because I was starting in a place, but it's, he's asking about the center and pure intent and leaving the results to God. And when I talked about ensoulment and channeling and the difference, Shri is asking these questions to Archangel Zadkiel directly. Master Lady Kira Ra does not, she is channeling like we all channel. However, the messages that come through as ensoulments, uh, she's pretty much always ensouling now, so it's moved beyond that channeling that we're all capable of and that she does as a being on this planet, as a channel of divine light. And ensoulment brings it to this place where there's no ego involved when the messages come through. And because Shri and Kira are one soul, that and Kira has had near death experiences, actually both, but she's able to completely allow them to animate her body and form in order to bring these messages through. So whether think archangel or just energy being or multidimensional experience from another realm, but Archangel Zadkiel is the energy that came through to them from the very beginning when they first met. And you can read all about that in Sacred Union, The Journey Home. But I love this about pure intent. It's like all these nuggets are coming through to me. Pay attention. Just grab one of your more inspiring spiritual books off your shelf and open a page and see what pops up, right? We're always being talked to. And the other book that I pulled open was my I Am Discourses the other day, and it pulled open right to all about the manifestation power of the words I am. And we have a lot to say about that. I am are the most powerful words that we utter, and we're not conscious of how we wield them. We can destruct, we can create, we can do so much, and we just don't realize how powerful we are. So Archangel Zadkiel in this lesson, all about restoring presence, he really talks about having this kind of understanding of the intent and pure intent, right? So Sri Ram Ka asks, indeed, or he shares, indeed, uh, a spiritual principle that is taught is to focus on making an effort and not focus on the outcome, basically to center in pure intent and leave the results to God. So simply, this is Zadkiel. So simply focus on the intent. What is the intent? Then allow trust with flow to provide the how. Sorry, I was looking at another graphic while I was reading that was really drawing me. What is the intent? What's your intent? So, like, if you were going to manifest something, what's your intent? Allow trust with flow to provide the how. And this comes back to something that I've taught a lot and that I work to practice every day on my own too, is get out of the how. Our brains are so trained to look for how something needs to happen or be done, um, and starts talking itself out of what could be manifested because it's how is that going to happen? And the questioning starts and the doubt starts. Focus on the intent. What's the intent? Come to your heart. Everything bursts from the heart. This is the root chakra of our ascended state of being, right? That opens up, oops, wrong side, the divine galactic blueprint. It opens up this beautiful portal that connects you all the way to your divine beingness. So if you come to your heart, you're connecting in a direct channel. So, the Ave Sa breath, taking an Ave Sa breath. So, simply focus on the intent. What is the intent? Then allow trust with flow to provide the how. Trust. You've got to step into trust. And the how will be provided by the universe, not from our brain. Let your brain work for you and figure out details that it needs to figure out when it's appropriate. This is unique, or sorry, this is again a trap for you can get into the letting go and trusting and then do nothing. That's what we were talking about at the beginning of the hour, action, right? Because you have to also be willing to take action because you'll get nothing if you do nothing. This is again very important step, so pay attention to it, right? When one is in trust, one also trusts that there is an action to be taken. Take a drink on that. When one is in trust, one also trusts that there's an action to be taken. It does not imply that I should sit and wait and a phone will ring with my answer. Trust means that you trust yourself in the steps you are taking. You trust the action you are being guided to do, and you use as your barometer the degree of joy and fulfillment and nourishment that comes from the action you are taking. You trust the action you are being guided to do, and you use as your barometer the degree of joy and fulfillment and nourishment that comes from the action you are taking, right? So I know I've been guilty of this too, right? I'm just going to wait. I'm going to put the intention out there and the universe will let me know. I mean, sometimes, yeah, that happens, but you probably actually have been taking steps and not totally realizing it. And sometimes the asking is the step and something can show up. But I mean, it's not going to guarantee results, and most of the time won't. If you just say, ah, here's my intention, I'm just going to sit back and wait till it happens. I'm going to couch surf, the phone will ring, the person will show up. You have to be taking action steps. For example, I might when I started my business, let's say, that was huge for me. And my soul speaks to other souls out there. If you're an entrepreneur, if you have an idea, a project, a tool, coaching services, energy healing that you want to bring to the world and you're not doing it. I was in exactly that position. And if I would have listened to all of my doubts, I wouldn't be here right now talking with you. That's for sure. So I remember thinking, okay, I'll put up some flyers. You're just starting out. This is why I love helping people start their businesses and practices. That's been one of my favorite kind of mentoring groups to run. These days, I'm so full that I don't have that mentoring group at the moment, but I know that's going to be reinstated and reincorporated into all of the journey of self ascension and being part of that much more closely. So right now we have divine mastery presence. That's where it's at. But I love it. Reach out to me if you are like a passionate entrepreneur and you're getting started or you're in a point. you know I will set up some individual coaching calls. Just a side note, because I really do get passionate about that. It's one of my greater passions, because the world needs you. The world needs you. If you've got your idea, tool, or gift, share it. Right. So when I started, I would go out and put up flyers. I made business cards. Those were action steps. And interestingly, like, I would generate a few leads just so random. Like, someone would be like, I don't know how I even got your card. I don't even know how I even found your name, because I wasn't just out there everywhere. I was just starting, right? But then there was times where I got doubtful. Like, it's been a long journey. I've been doing it 8 years officially since I started my business and hung up my shingle. And there were times where doubt came in and I was working through things in my own self. And of course, like, less people come. But every time I worked with somebody in service and just connected, I would go back into that trust space and miracles would happen in the sessions and it would sustain me and keep me going. But when I didn't take the action, like, even if I didn't know the outcome of making a video and posting it, whether or not one person or 100 people saw it, just one example, right? It's an action step. Like, if you're looking for a new job, but you don't know what job you want, a step in the direction from your heart of, like, this is something I would like to apply for or do, right? Maybe that job is the job or not, but it opens up other doorways and potentialities and opportunities. So it's really, you don't know the how. It's the trust, and it's in the, like, taking the step that sometimes opens other things. Maybe you sign up for a workshop you're called to, and the workshop teaches you a thing or two, but it's actually a person there that you meet that you are meant to know or connect with. You have to say yes to the opportunities, and you don't know exactly how the universe is working out for you. So trust, I love that. So trust means that you trust yourself in the steps you are taking. And you know, that's a big one. That's a big one to cultivate. I'm popping over to chat. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Cool, cool. Hey, Angel. Hi, Purple. Hi, Gary. That is excellent. I loved having you in that last group too, Angel. It was so fantastic. Hi, Ashtara. Beautiful. I love that you found the book too, Angel, The Mayan Sunrise. These copies exist out there and we're working to reclaim them. And yeah, not seeing anybody in the call board, and that's okay today. But if you do feel like calling in, 517-208-1500. So back on this trust, sincerity, love, and presence really are, again, that foundation of manifestation. And without love, without trust, I mean, without trust, you can't have love. Without love, you can't have trust, right? So you trust the action you're being guided to do. You love the action you're being guided to do, and use that as your barometer of the degree of joy and fulfillment and nourishment that comes from the action you're taking. And also it brings me back to another Archangel Zadkiel quote. If it does not bring you joy, then why are you doing it? And notice maybe there is something in the task that actually is very joyful, but you're looking at it from a different way. Sometimes we have major resistance to the action steps that our soul is guiding, and it starts to feel hard because we're fighting along the way with our ego. So there's another discernment. It may be definitely a soul guided step, but you start second guessing it because your ego comes in and says, this is hard, I have to grow. And starts creating doubt. So that's where you have to have the trust, trust, trust. Cultivating the trust. You trust that if you're not seeing, if it's not there, then there's a new direction that's provided. If you take a step and you don't see, you don't know, well, you'll get a new direction, right? Even if it's not one you want to create. There you go, right? You might not, your soul will know, but your ego might say, I don't want to do that. That's why the trust comes in. Even if it does not look like that which you believe it should look like. This is the way to do it. There have been many who we hear all the time begging, help me, yet they do not step into their own flow, right? Looking for a rescuer, that victim triangle, victim, perpetrator, rescuer. Which energy is it that's playing out in you when you say, just help me, help me, help me, right? That's the victim that's not empowered. You need to be able to take a step. So there have been many who we hear all the time begging, help me, yet they do not step into their own flow. They do not step into action. We are helping, we're always there. Yet if you do not reach out, how can we assist? This is the trust, the great trust and love of the self enough to do the action you are guided to do and to truly honor the barometer of joy. Understand that joy is a state of being, not an emotion. This is an important distinction. When many hear the word joy, they assume it means giddy or laughter. Joy is peace, joy is love. It's a state of being, right? Uh, and I love that point. It's like if you don't reach out, how can we assist? You can say, help me, but also say, I'm open to receiving your guidance. Like we can't just expect them to do it for us, but they'll offer all their help in the world. We just have to ask for that assistance and be willing to take the steps. Joy is a state of being. It is a way of living where you are in complete acknowledgement and harmony with your authentic being. Hashtag goals, the way of living where you're in complete acknowledgement and harmony with your authentic being. You're able to relax and to trust so implicitly there is not 1 second spent on double asking. Wow. Hashtag goals again. When you truly flow from one action to another without questioning, that is when you know. Hmm. The questioner relaxes. It's so normal if you have that there. It's a stage of our evolution to evolve through. That's why we have all this help, that they came through to give us these messages. This does not imply recklessness. It implies complete peace, trust, flow, and knowing. Balance in the recognition is, of course, quiet time, a time of reflection, and the time to receive guidance for which you can act upon, right? The concept of meditation has become convoluted on this planet. Meditation is any process of sincere intent directed towards achieving inspired guidance. Many ask, how do I know it is inspired? How do I know it is true guidance? There's only one answer. Does it give you greater joy? Does it provide a sense of love? Do you feel peace? So, and that really, was where I came to when I opened this book. Knowing when something is divinely inspired and true guidance or not, because this becomes a question for many. And, maybe it's when you're watching another being or a spiritual teacher or somebody that's sharing, or you're listening to your own guidance and you just don't know. It's like, is this true or not? Is this inspired true guidance? Does it give you greater joy? Does it provide a sense of love? Do you feel peace? That's how you know. And Zadkiel talks about this also in Sacred Union, The Journey Home. It's like a lot of people, when Kira started insouling these messages, are, friends and people, of course, there's going to be met with a lot of doubt, fear. Most of the world's not understanding of this yet, right? And it's like maybe that's coming from energies that are less than, and there are beings in the world that are channeling energies that are less than. So how do you know if you encounter a message, if it is or not? Feel into the energy. Like Shri shares, the first time when that happened, when Zadkiel came through, and he was so kind of, shocked at first, when he relaxed into trust and gazed into the energy coming from Kira's eyes, he felt the love, the truth, everything. You will know if a message is true or not. Is the intent of love and presence? Is the intent to uplift? Does it leave you feeling uplifted? If it leaves you feeling fearful, then forget it. There are so many beings that are out there making money off of your fear. And that is in the new age world and the healing world and all those places. Because to keep people in fear is to keep them controlled. And it's such a currency of this planet. It's such a habit. So pay attention. Where do you receive your messages from? Where are you receiving the energies that come? They're coming from the illusion, if it's out of that sense of fear or anger or judgment or anything like that. If it feels like pure love, it's of the highest. Does it give you joy? Does it leave you with a sense of love? If anything you receive in quiet reflection causes you distress, make sure you understood correctly. True universal energy will only create feelings of peace, love, and joy. This is the most simple and direct barometer we can offer anyone. It is also important to remember that meditation takes many forms. Perhaps it also needs to have many definitions. We may refer to it as meditation. You may call it reflection, inspiration, quiet time. It does not matter. However, when your entire being is meditation, hashtag goals again, when your existence is meditation, that is when the questions you ask are no longer even in your thought process to ask or even to formulate, because so many of those questions just come from doubt in the questioner, right? This is the barometer. Now, I encourage you to be careful as you listen to these words, for they can trigger a loop of self judgment. This judgment may wish to express itself as the belief that you are not doing enough right now. Remember, the very trigger that sends that message to you is the same one that knows you are already doing everything you need to do. It is all meditation. It is all joy. Trust. Do not second guess. Presence is love. Love is trust. Trust gives presence. For you must have presence in the present. Otherwise, it is a false symptom of one who is on a path of aspiration. Okay, I'm present now. Now what? You must have your presence in the present. Always remember this. Your presence honors divine light through the recognition that trust and love are inseparable. Trust is love, and love is trust, and let it begin with you. If you find yourself unable to begin with you, then this is when you are being called to go beyond the you evermore to claim your presence in the present. So beautiful. So I'm absolutely loving that, because as this full moon approaches, and we're going to stabilize, and this manifestation energy's off the hook, and we're able to truly remember who we are and create from there in a way that has been unforeseen by so many. We did not know we would get to this moment so quickly, but you came here, you signed up for it, and here we are. That it's time. It's time to live this and to be the law of instantaneous manifestation. It's your sincerity, your love, your presence, your trust, capital T. And I love that what you shared there, Susan. I think messages that come through out of fear are typically not real. Agreed. They're part of the illusion. Absolutely. They're not the real messages. So if it's coming from fear, pay attention. That's fear is doubt, and it's the opposite of trust. And it takes us completely out, and we're disconnected, right? We're receiving information that's not even true and buying into the illusion. And it's going to try so hard right now to do everything it can. Don't let it stop you. Do not let it in. And hey, I know we're coming close to the end of the call. Let's bring in a caller here on the line. Welcome in from Belleville, Illinois. Namaste and welcome.
Namaste, Jess. It's Gary.
Hello, dear Gary.
How you doing? I love the show today. That was good. I almost hung up because I didn't want to mess with the energy we were just reading. It was awesome.
Oh, thank you. You are not messing up anything. You are a great addition.
Yes, thank you. We were talking about channeling, Lynn had her first, it's almost like a mediumship, what she's got going on. Her son had committed suicide, and she had seen it and all that. And I was like, really calling on the universe to send angels to help this woman. I didn't know what she was going to go through, but the next day, I woke up and she was just writing as fast as she could. And I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I felt the energy in the room as soon as I walked in there. And she was writing down letters that he was telling his brothers and sisters what he wanted to write on his bed. And she wrote down all 5 letters to,
wow.
to them.
Wow.
From him, and it was awesome. It was unreal. That was the very next day too, man.
That's incredible.
She's been doing. I don't know what's going on, but she's cracking wide open. I can tell you that.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes it takes whatever it takes. I don't know how. This is her youngest son, and they had a very beautiful relationship. Now the relationship's going to another level. It's unreal.
Wow, I've got goosebumps. I have got goosebumps, and honestly, celebrating, and celebrating Lynn, and that is a huge moment of celebration to be in that trust and to receive that guidance and wisdom, and to know, like, that's a moment of arrival, and that is a moment of celebration, because with the and with the trust and with the love, only integrity can come through. And that's just really a beautiful blessing, and just thank you. It's another miracle celebration as well. Thank you for sharing. Thanks for calling in, Gary.
Oh, I always love calling in, love connecting with you. Just love this family, and I love you, hon.
Oh, I love you too. We love you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Oh my gosh, we have 2 minutes left. Let's see. Louisville, Kentucky. You want to come on in?
Hey, what's going on?
Hello there. Namaste.
Hey, what's going on? So that was actually my brother who had the phone first, but he just handed it over to me. So
oh, how funny. Doing well. Is there anything that we can support you with, or anything you wanted to share today?
Yeah. So I actually talked to you probably about, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago. I had done a little Zoom conference with you for 15 minutes.
I remember.
Yeah, I was actually out to lunch.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, it was a crazy moment. I think I was asking you something about if I should go back, because I was trying to figure out, should I go work this job, or should I surrender to the job because the job wasn't serving me any longer. So that was where I was at 2 years ago.
Wow.
So now, present day, I've been working on music I've been working on this album for 7 years now, and it's been a crazy spiritual quest. It's called the Love Safari. So
I've pretty much put like my whole soul, my whole life, all my energy to this project, and I'm trying to finally have it come to an end, because it's just like, it's getting to that point to where it's just becoming too much. It's been going on for too long, so I'm trying to release it this year, and I'm just trying to, I guess, see if you have if any downloads or messages come in about maybe the next steps to take on my path for this year, to like, just to finish it up, or just if anything comes through with me telling you that. I would just kind of like to hear your feedback.
Oh, absolutely, sweetheart. First, I'm so honored and grateful to be connecting with you again. And the sincerity, love, and presence, like that message that this show has been centered around. It is the next steps, the next things, really getting into your ascended heart. And what I'm really hearing for sure is like there's a connection for you between your upper heart almost to your throat. It's like, okay, am I really ready to be seen? That's the question to be with. Am I really ready to be heard, seen, your elbow, right? And this trust, you can't see right now, but I'm holding on to my third chakra. There's like a little bit of a tie between there and your empowered presence and being. And this beautiful creation they're showing me, it's just like I can see it just radiating through your hands, and your being as you're creating is divinely inspired. And can you just trust yourself enough now to birth the completion and to really be seen? And when you really feel like, yeah, I'm really safe to be seen, be with that question, and be in it with honesty to just see what is there. And you don't have to do anything with it or have to know, but just let it be revealed. There's something revealing through your truth chakra from the center of your divine empowerment that's really just saying, hey, just trust this. You've been divinely inspired. And the next steps absolutely are being revealed to you. And they're also sharing to really pay attention to your dream space and doing some writing in the mornings of what you're receiving when you wake up, because you're definitely connecting. And the more you develop some of that discernment for what you're receiving, you're going to get a lot of ahas that way. So I hope that helps you, sweetheart. And thank you so much for calling in. Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Blessings. All right, everyone. I love it. I love the callers. If you didn't get to call in or you want to call in next time, hey, Tuesdays at noon, I am here. And, you can find out more about me over, of course, at selfascensionstudios.com. And find me with Shri and Kira on April 27th for the Ascended Abundance. Please join that. It's a free global event. It's absolutely incredible. I'll throw it up on the screen. And hey, remember, there's also and you can register at shriandkira.com for that, or shoot me a message and I'll get you the info. You want to be at that event. If you like talking about manifestation, you want to see what's next. Hey, callers that just called in, you be there too. I hope you are and know you will be. And everyone here in the chat and everyone that comes in later, sign up, be there. Please spread the word. And full moon ceremony this Saturday. That is a gift of service. Donations are welcome. You register for that at selfascensionstudios.com. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. You've been listening to Soul Fusion Cafe with Jess Juntanen. Connect with Jess and learn more at her inspiration hub, selfascensionstudios.com, and over on Instagram at JoyLoveJess and Soul Fusion Cafe Radio, or over at Facebook at Self Ascension Studios and Soul Fusion Cafe Radio. Thank you for listening. See you next week. Namaste and many blessings.